Welcome to Lions Live 365. I'm your host, Michael Ayers, and today we are talking about the most unkillable rumor in Lions history. And that is the fact that Maxx Crosby wants out of the Raiders and wants to become a Lion. And for some reason, no matter what the cost might be, no matter how many injuries Max gets, no matter how many times Max comes back and says, hey, I don't want to be a Lion, I want to be a Raider for life, we have to talk about it. It caught fire again on Radio Row. I'm going to play you an audio from Jay Glazer.
There's a couple guys. If they tell you they're playing, they're playing.
I think his time with the Raiders is done.
I do.
Okay. Before the draft?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Is there a landing spot that makes sense in your opinion?
A ton of them. I'm not going to say what it is yet because I'm going to try and help it out.
Sure. What kind of haul do you think realistically a Maxx Crosby gets in general?
He probably more than Micah.
More than Micah. More than Micah Parsons. Bro, Max is older. He's had injuries. More than Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons might be the second or third best edge rusher in the league, and we talking about more than Micah Parsons. Like, we gotta calm down now. Like, I know these rumors are made to allow teams to me, I feel like the Raiders dropped this. Once I heard the asking price, I'm like, yeah, the Raiders found a roundabout way to get the league to call them without pissing off the player that they have in house. Because if you think about it, like, more than Mike, to ask for more than Mike is crazy. And the way Jay Glazer said everything, the way he was saying everything, I just felt like, I don't think this is from Max. And the crazy thing is, I feel like the stuff that we got from John Macaroon at Lions on SI, where he said Max would pick the Lions first, that we're his first choice. I feel like that may be from Max. But like when you talk about the asking price is insane. Because you're talking about 3 firsts in a Pro Bowl player? 2 firsts and some mid-round picks in a Pro Bowl player? Or a starting caliber player for Maxx Crosby, fresh off an injury? That's kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. The only thing that makes me think, you know what, they might be right. There's only one thing that just makes me think, you know what, they might be right. The contract might make them right. This contract is a work of art because at the end of the day, ever since that Micah trade, the edge rusher position has essentially exploded. We were caught in the aftermath of that. We had to end up paying Aiden Hutchinson around $47 million. So right now, the next edge rusher is probably going to ask for 50, and it's only going to go up from there. So when you really think about it, having a guy under control that over a period of time is going to make like 120, 140, 150 million compared to the new edge contracts, and you have that under control for 4 more years, that's awesome, to be honest. He's still a top 10 defensive end. Even on a bad leg, this man gave you 53 pressures, 10 sacks, and almost 1,000 snaps. Good run defense. It's one of those things where it's just like, I get where you're coming from. And you have something that is valuable, but should I be the one paying for it? Like, I understand. Like, hey, there's some mansions that are fully worth it, but I don't have the money to pay for them things. Now, I don't think money is our problem, but I think the multiple draft picks, the player, I don't know if we can afford to pay that. And even if we could, is that the best option? So these are the other options. I just want to give y'all other options that you should consider. And I want y'all at the end of the video, put it in the comment section which option you taking. You can take option 1, you can take option 2, you can take option 3, or you can take Max. All right? So option 1, we can go get Trey Hendrickson, right? The first is one of them situations where it's like, hey, He's older. He only played 7 games last year. He had 2 back-to-back 17-plus sack seasons. The Bengals have been dangling him forever, but at this point, they have to franchise tag him, and they're most likely going to have to tag and trade him. But there is a way in which they might just not even franchise tag him. Like, I'm done trying to figure out what a bad organization is going to do. I've seen the Dallas Cowboys do things that didn't make sense to me, and I'm definitely not seeing things that make sense to me here in the Cincinnati situation. He should have been traded. And that's why the only reason I'm putting him up here is because at the end of the day, the injuries, I don't know if they were real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if he would have probably played through those injuries if he was just like, man, if he didn't hate the Bengals. He probably plays through half of them things. Oh, my back. My neck and my back. He don't care, right? So, but I know at 31 years old, he'll probably come in around the same amount of money, and it'll probably be significantly less draft capital, and that's another option, right? You know, not as young. 28 compared to 31. Same injury situation. Not as young. So that's option 1, right? That option I'm not sure is even better than Maxx. I might still take all my picks, F them picks, give me Maxx Crosby, right? Or we could try something like this, right? Option 2. We could do veteran defense and an offensive draft. We go into free agency and we go out there and we're like, look, we are going to focus on building a D-line rotation. We're not getting one guy, we're getting multiple guys. So I would re-sign AQM between 8 to 10 million, whatever he's asking. I don't care. I know it's not gonna be nothing crazy. At maximum $10 million, most likely in the 5 to 8 range, right? But we also end up going after a Jalen Phillips or a Joey Bosa, to add with AQM. Not a scrub like Marcus Davenport, but somebody that can actually, move the needle some. Now, according to OTC over the cap, they have valuations that are under 20 million. So at the end of the day, 8 to 10 million for AQM, under 20 million for Jalen Phillips or Bosa, and then in the first round we'll go, tackle or guard, and have our offensive line just have a youth infusion, right? And then we'll do the draft, safety, tight end, slot later rounds, because we have all our draft picks. We didn't trade for anybody. And then as far as free agency is concerned, I wanted to make sure that I pick people that would fit under that 35.7, that $37 million budget that would have been Maxx Crosby's first year. So this is what, like, hey, if we went out and spent the amount of money that we would have paid for Maxx Crosby, we can get AQM, Jalen Phillips, and to be honest, depending on where they are and how much they bang with us, we might be able to get all 3 for that amount of money, or fill other holes with that money if we want to go the budget route. But at the end of the day, I wanted to go with guys that are big upgrades to who we have, but may not be, Maxx Crosby, right? That's option 2. Now we're going to go over here to option 3, veteran offense and a defensive draft. You fix your offensive line, get your tight end depth, and essentially you use all that $36 million that you would have did with Maxx. You get the best center that you can. You might be able to get a quality tackle, a backup tackle, depending on if Taylor Decker lets you know if he's retired. And then you go into the draft and you just hammer defense. You hammer edge. You might even double or triple up on edge. It's something that the Lions have done in the past. You can do that. If it was your option, would you go free agency, all your offensive needs, or center, tackle, backup tight end? Then you go into the draft, you basically just do defense. A bunch of defensive ends. You can get defensive end at 17. You could do a defensive end at 50. You could do 17 and 50, get a defensive end. Get corners and safeties the rest of the draft. There's a lot of things that you could do. There's a bunch of people that fit our scheme in this particular draft. I would love about 10 of them if we were to be available, right? I'm not the biggest Akeem Messidor guy, but at the end of the day, if he stays healthy, he's going to be a dog. Keldrick Folk, dog. Ruben Bain, if somehow, some way, we end up with Bain at 17, I God loves me, right? But at the end of the day, there are so many options in this particular draft that fit our scheme with guys that can play outside, play inside. That's all we need. That's the only thing we've needed for some time. And we haven't been in draft position to get that guy. And when we have been in position for a guy like that, Brad has passed on him, and that dude has sucked, or he hasn't played. So like Landon Jackson, or Darius Robinson, or Johnny Newton, like none of those players have worked out. And then the other players we just didn't have an option to get, like Jared Verse, that didn't fall to us. Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, those are the style players that they're looking for, and they're not getting to us. So in this particular draft, somebody that fits is going to get to us, and I really do appreciate that. One thing I will say though, this is probably my favorite option, because I want a rotation of defensive line, and defensive line is so expensive. I don't want to spend a whole bunch on like old broke down veterans. But at the end of the day, there is another option. There is another option, and that is the option that the people want. The option that the people want, you know what they want. They want Maxx. Maxx Crosby is probably going to cost you 2 firsts, a second, and a Lee McNeil, something along those lines. They're going to want a quality player. If they ask for JMO, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm sorry. They ask for any of those kind of guys, I'm just not doing it. They are in a situation where they are very close to the cap floor. They have to spend a certain amount of money, and we have to send them money back like it's a basketball trade. Otherwise, they're going to be in a weird spot. So with that being said, I would send them back a Liam McNeil, those 2 firsts, a second. Hopefully, they don't ask for nobody else. But outside of that, what would y'all be willing to trade for Maxx, or would you take one of the other options? That's my question to you. And one of the things that's crazy is like, it's so weird that this rumor pops up so often, and it seems more real every time, because you sitting there thinking like, there's no way that so many respected reporters can have this rumor pop up time and time and time again. And I just really feel like the Raiders are just that team that is like, we found a way to essentially put our feet in the water, test the water, see what it's worth, so that at the end of the day, if that ever materializes, we can take advantage. And that's just my piece on it. What option would you take? Tell me in the comment section. Whether it's game day, draft day, or any day in between. It's Lions Live 365. Please like and subscribe. Peace out.